Do I sound good? Do I sound good? I do. Nice. That's always a pleasant surprise. Na 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 na. Ba-da-da. Hold on. Am I at the right settings? First of all, do I still have quality options? I do not. Dang it. Then, settings. Yeah, my bitrate is up too high. I wonder if restream.io actually like messes with the quality. I don't know if it does, but it might. Restream.io bit rate quality. No, Restreamio does not mess with it. So basically, YouTube streaming is just crap for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why, but YouTube streaming is just poopy. Is there like a setting in YouTube that I have to change? Advanced settings. Why is... There, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Why did it say dang? Wow. Enable DVR, yeah. Add a delay, no. No, everything should be just fine. I don't get it. Despite the quality on YouTube being not that great, thank you, whoever is watching, for hanging around. Anyway, it's time for me to get started. So, hey everyone, welcome back to Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. I got a haircut. Hi. In the next coming months, it will grow longer and longer again. It's just kind of how I do things. It's just like, get it short and it'll go will go along again. So there'll be cycles, like video cycles of me having haircuts. Anyway, last time Angie died, and then Tenko died. So that's fucking sad. Whew. Marker stone, Tenko's body. The cage. There's some splatter on the cage. This is a cage used in the seance.
Is this?
It looks to be around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It's a pretty large iron cage.
Okay.
Big enough for a person to fit inside. We saw it happen. With Tenko. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with a cage. We were supposed to remove it as well. But it was Himiko who rushed in and removed the cage first.
Hey.
Hey, look at this.
Is this?
A blood stain on the bottom of the cage. Probably Tenko's blood, yeah?
That's true.
Yeah, I imagine so. The spatter must have been made when she was killed.
What do you mean?
Which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage.
Okay.
I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead.
Then?
If she was stabbed right when the cage was lifted, that would explain this bloodstain, right?
Huh?
Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but the exact moment the cage was lifted. That is a possibility. No, we already saw blood before she was killed. Or, what am I saying? Before Himiko lifted the cage. Marker stone? Oh, this doesn't take too long anymore. We should be moving on to the class trial quickly. There's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please rest your forehead upon this stone marker I've placed here. It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work? Certainly. It is merely needed as a marker for her forehead to rest upon. Like this? Tenko had her forehead on this rock, hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside the cage. The marker stone has been added to the truth balls. Tenko's dead body. She took her last breath crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is the stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Oh, wait. Understood! I will not say a word until the seance is over! Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain?
Nope.
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out. Huh? What do you mean?
What's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
With a wound this deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die. You're speaking from experience?
That's obvious.
Of course. Quick deaths are my specialty. Well then, that makes sense.
By the way...
The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around. You're right, I don't see any obvious murder weapon. That could be a clue. Tenko's last moments has been added to the truth section of your monopad. Maybe there was a hidden thing inside the dog statue? You'd have to look for a tear in the cloth then. It's the wooden dog statue used in the seance. I believe it's called the Dog God. which is a palindrome was called, I believe. Palindrome. Yes. I was right with my terminology. I'm glad. During the seance, the wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. This wooden statue is pretty heavy.
If I remember correctly...
Kyo said it was about 175 pounds. That's about the weight of 2 girls. Why is it so heavy?
What?
What do you know about girls? Have you even touched a woman besides your mother? What?
I'm kidding.
Anyway.
Is this
heavy thing... If this heavy thing was on top of the cage, then Tenko wouldn't have been able to get out easily.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. That didn't sound like you were kidding earlier. It's the white sheet we used for the seance. This was placed on top of the cage. Kyo was the one who removed it.
Is this...
This cloth is pretty thick. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque. And on the back... Look, there's a bloodstain on it, right here at the middle of the sheet.
But
no hole in the fabric. Which means Tenko wasn't stabbed through this cloth.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth. Hold on, what? That was Facebook. There we go. Took care of that. White sheet has been added to the truth bullet section of your mono pad. Then Himiko. Hey! Himiko! Hey, Himiko! Be strong, Himiko!
Wait, Konta, if you shake Himiko that much, she's going to break.
But she's not talking. It's like Himiko not even here.
Like I thought. She must have been really shocked over Tenko. Let's leave her be for now.
Okay. Somebody give that girl a hug.
I said things that made Tenko look suspicious, and now this. I'm sorry, Tenko.
Stop it.
Cry later.
What? Huh?
Because...
Crying won't bring Tenko back. And if we don't investigate thoroughly, we'll die too.
okay.
I need to find the truth and pin down the culprit for Tenko and all of us.
I guess. You're right. Tenko would want us to figure it out so she'd have no regrets. That would be the best way to apologize.
I probably won't be able to say much to Kibo because he will be concentrated on
Why?
shining light with his eyes. First Angie, then Tenko!
How can this be?
Gonta's so ashamed! Why Gonta no could protect friends?
That cannot be.
Why did this?
I knew it.
Kyo, I know the murder was pretty shocking.
But of course.
Of course, I'm shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? You performed all the steps flawlessly. You seem more concerned by that than the murder.
Ah, yes.
Oh, if you perform the caged child again and summon Tenko spirit this time...
This is stupid.
Cut the crap. Just tell me what happened during the seance. Both you and Shuichi were present, right? Did she get killed during the seance?
I see, yes.
True. It may be best to move past what happened to know why the seance failed.
Is that so?
Whatever. Just hurry up. At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position herself as a turtle within the magic circle, so her head touched the marker stone. Then Shuichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko, and after that, I placed the white cloth over the cage. Then all four of us placed the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage. Afterwards, we stood in the four corners of the room. Kokichi and Shuichi blew out the candles.
Yes.
Finally, we all sang the caged child song. The seance should have been complete, but... now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during that song. That was creepy. It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped, perhaps. That was a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
And then what happened? We called out to her, but no reply came. I had Shuichi and Kokichi relight the candles. And then we removed all the items from within the magic circle in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Next, I took off the white cloth, and then... Himiko ran over to the cage, and the moment she lifted it... Then it sounds like Tenko was definitely... Oh, hold on. No, it's Maki saying this. Kyo has such a weird expression for what he's saying right now. Then it sounds like Tenko was definitely killed during the seance.
No.
But would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes.
Then
when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that's a problem.
I see, yes.
There is another problem.
How?
And that is, why ever did the seance fail? I simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Maybe someone moved from their corner. Did someone else sneak in here?
what's the point?
Obviously, since the seance was clearly a sham. Maki never was one to pull her punches. Sound during seance. Mew, do you have anything useful to say?
This investigation is over and shut. And it's all thanks to me for giving Kibo his new function. Now then, Cunt Fu's killer is obviously one of you stupid assholes who signed up to do this bullshit seance in the first place.
No. No, not necessarily.
Huh? Seriously? The seance was clearly set up to lure her in and kill her. How could someone who wasn't in the room kill her?
Could it be?
So you believe that Tenko was killed during the seance?
Fucking moron!
There's no other possibility, shit for brains. God, you didn't even know that?
It's true that Tinko was alive before the sounds began. It is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you.
Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Tenko answered Kyo, so at that point she was most certainly alive. When the candles were relit, she had already been killed. Na 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 na. That means she was killed in the dark, I'm positive. What time exactly was Tenko killed after the candles were blown out? That may be an important point of this case.
Oh, man.
Man, what a lame function! You should have made him like a transformer or something. Hi, Kibo.
Leave it to me.
Leave it to me. I'll become the guiding light that shines on you all. Maki.
Well...
Do these floorboards seem a little unstable to you? They're tough to walk on. The floorboards aren't nailed down. They're just lying on top of cross pieces. That's what Gonta told me. That's probably the reason they're a little unstable. They've only been laid on top. That's why they're unstable.
Well,
the boards are fairly thick and sturdy. I can imagine they'd come loose easily.
Is this...
But if someone wanted to remove a floorboard, they could easily do so, right?
okay.
Yeah, and it seems like they did from the scene that we've been seeing a couple of times. Yes, I suppose. The ruined magic circle. It's the magic circle Kyo drew on the floor. Well, at least it was.
Oh dear.
It's been completely stomped over. I suppose it was unavoidable.
Well...
Was this drawn with salt?
Yes.
Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt.
What?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I have performed many successful seances. Why, I've even had spirits enter my body. Shut
already.
up. I don't want to hear about your stupid delusions. Like, really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
But
In any case, with all these footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out. We'll find out in Kyo's lab. It should be written in the Caged Dog Village document.
Hey.
Isn't that right, Kyo? He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. No, it doesn't quite make sense. Candles hung on the walls. They're the only source of light in the room. There are no windows in this room, so without the candles it was pitch black. But how did the culprit kill Tenko in complete darkness? That was it? No, it wasn't. There's a hole in the corner. It doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still.
Is this...
Uh-huh. Looks like there's a space under here too. Oh, hold on. I can see something below. It looks like something dropped down there. What? Something dropped down there?
Got a minute?
After we check everywhere else, why don't we go on the floor and see for ourselves? That's... You come to the stream and ask me here to play Odyssey. Dude. I'll give you Odyssey tomorrow. Okay? After we check everywhere else, why don't we go under the floor and see for ourselves?
Okay.
Right, let's do it. Oh, you have a night off. Well, don't you have a night off tomorrow as well? We still have stuff to investigate. So what could that be? Kokichi. No. I already talked to everyone in the room. Does one of them still have... Is this stream a spoiler alert?
It's plain to see.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't watch this. Don't know yet. Well, you'll probably have some time to play video games tomorrow at some point. You can get the game then, okay? Okay.
I'm going to plainly do my best. For Tenko.
Crooked floorboard. There we go. Ah, this floorboard is loose. Okay. Laters. And there's one right under Tenko.
Why?
Why is this floorboard loose?
If I remember correctly,
It wasn't like this before. It must have come loose during the seance.
Why?
Why would it come loose during the seance?
but
A floorboard this thick and heavy wouldn't have come loose easily. And someone must have loosened it on purpose.
hey,
Maki, we finished investigating up here. Perhaps we should check under the floor?
By the way,
It seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for light?
that's true.
Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
okay.
Now I'll go get a candle. Remove that floorboard so we can go down.
Okay,
Okay, got it. Pulled off some of the floorboards near the hole and took the candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole and under the floor. This is a lot more spacious than I thought. You could move pretty easily on all fours.
okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well,
It'd look pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty place.
Okay,
Yeah. Why are there 2 bloodstains? Dried blood. Cut crosspiece. So that's dried. And this is wet. Is Angie being killed here too? Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. But that's pretty far from where Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's just on the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
hey,
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too.
ah,
You're right. There's a little bit of blood on the underside of this floorboard.
what do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood spatter when she got killed?
that's true.
I wonder. I can't really be sure yet.
Okay,
But these blood stains here are completely dry. There must be some reason these particular stains are dry. Yeah, they're not... They're not Tenko's blood, that's for sure. They're crosspiece.
ah,
Oh look! Where the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off!
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same width too. And from what I can see of it,
that's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally. This was cut off by someone. There should be sawdust in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is, why? Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing.
Then...
So what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tenko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all of this, then why? Interesting. What? A bloody sickle. There's a sickle here and there's blood all over it. The blood in the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon.
Is this...
This came from my research lab. Huh? It did?
Well...
A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes too.
Well,
if she was attacked with this, she wouldn't have stand a chance. This blade is about 6 inches.
That's right.
Since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
but
even if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but could it reach her neck?
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but I don't think it's impossible. And her posture is the question.
Hey,
Hey, if the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark. Or they could have been under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible. A hole. Some of the wood has corroded and is broken off, so you can see into the next room.
hey,
This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away. It looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally, but I can get into the next room through here.
that's true.
If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? And the culprit would have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had light without that. Whoops, we did alright because we had light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. That might make it impossible to move around in here.
Nope.
Then they could have used the light, like we're doing right now.
Well,
True. They used the light to move around under the floor. Is that possible? Probably not, because we would have seen something with our lights turned off completely.
is that all right?
Maki, you want to head back up? Glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this dust. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floor, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation.
By the way,
We've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise?
Huh?
What do you mean?
because...
If Angie and Tenko have different killers, the Blacken we need to vote for
You're
is
right.
the culprit for the first murder. The culprit who killed Angie. That's what Monokuma said.
Then...
So instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's?
Okay,
Yes, of course.
but
But this is bigger than the killing game. For the sake of the two who died, I need to reveal the truth of both their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. I would like to leave, yes. When I came to the hallway, a scene more surprising than I could ever imagine unfolded. Excuse me? Kokichi? You dick! Also, the voice acting during that was lowered in volume. The audio settings for this game are bad. Like, seriously, this needs to be fixed. There needs to be a good solution where every character is audible, and you can hear the music well, and everything is tuned correctly. Like, get on that, Spike Chunsoft, or whatever company localized the game. I don't know where it got wrong.
Did I surprise you? We're gonna scream and cry in terror.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Oh?
Oh, sorry. I'm just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing?
I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Huh?
You stepped through a floorboard?
That's so mean.
Geez, that got me good. Because of this, I tripped and fell pretty hard.
Got a minute?
If you're going to lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything.
Ah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess there was no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck.
The crosspiece was gone. Does that mean... Oh no, is it over?
Huh?
Confidence! Dreams! That's what the killing game is all about!
No.
Killing game fans! Hold your head high and watch with your own two eyes!
No.
Baseball, soccer, mobile games! They're all nothing compared to the killing game!
It's just a little too early. Hi, Sakuya. How you doing?
The killing game just can't be beat! Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds!
I guess time's up. Basically, we investigated Tenko's death further, a little bit inside the room and under the floorboards. There were 2 bloodstains, one of which was dry. And then we got out and we saw a wounded Kokichi because he fell through a floorboard as well. But he's still alive. Kind of scared us.
Oh man, it's because of you guys. I didn't have time. I didn't have enough time to check something.
Huh?
What were you going to check?
See?
I want to research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. But unfortunately,
Man.
I couldn't find anything that could be used as a clue.
He is something alright, yeah. He was like, we saw him dead on the floor, it seemed like, and it zoomed in on him like all dramatically, and like the death sound started playing, and then he was like,
It's a lie! Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew his magic circle the same exact way as in the picture. Not only that, he used the same exact tools too. Nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you later about that.
you still know who the flippin' killer is, damn it.
Yeah, the class trial, so see you there.
Koichi left, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Yeah, I get that.
That's true.
It's gonna be fun still. Is Maki nervous? I see, so even she gets nervous sometimes.
Do you want to die?
What are you staring at? Do you want to die? Okay. Let's just take the warp. Courtyard. Trial time. Shrine of Judgment.
Oh dear.
It would appear we all have gathered, but it seems there are less and less of us.
Oh.
Less friends mean that much harder to solve mystery.
Don't worry.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure you've gotten a little smarter by now, Gonta. Yeah, going to do his best to help. I want you to graduate from super idiot level to at least Kaito idiot level.
What?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Are you okay?
More importantly, are you okay, Kaito?
Ah.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. But wow, Maki Roll sure does pack a punch.
I don't know.
It's your fault. He's not that much of an idiot, but he isn't the smartest person. I'll give you that. Still, he has become an well, he's done a lot of training and a lot of studying and did the astronauts test still. I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that he's not a dumb person.
You don't need to worry about our dwindling numbers. Our only dipshits have died so far.
That being said,
I know it's a tall order, but try to use your brains this time so I don't have to use mine.
hoo-yah!
These golden brain cells of mine are a gift to the entire world.
Unacceptable.
It's as though every time you open your mouth, you become less likable.
Rest in peace.
Atua, please lend us your power.
But
It may be difficult for us to rely on Atua, considering what happened to Angie, whom Atua loved most of all.
well, you know.
We shouldn't have relied on Atua in the first place. But seriously, it's kind of funny seeing a robot believe in God, especially Atua.
I also.
So what? Robots can believe in God.
Indeed.
Actually, before I even met Angie, I had a similar experience. Hearing voices, I mean. You might call it an inner voice. It tells me what to do whenever I am in trouble.
Got a minute?
How long are you going to say that for? Atua and ghosts don't matter right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, the trial this time is going to be rough. We got caught in Monokuma's trap.
Huh?
His trap?
That's right.
He probably made the fourth floor so scary on purpose to prevent me from investigating.
All right already.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, there's no way.
Hey, so
Shuichi, say something!
Huh?
What should I say? Monokuma's not too bad. How many of those are you gonna crush? As usual, we walked toward the elevator in silence. As soon as we remaining survivors stepped aboard. We descended. Oh, there's so few people right now. Perhaps because there were fewer of us. The elevator seemed to move faster. So we fell faster and faster downward into black. The elevator stopped, just like always. The door parted slowly. The light that shines on us from the other side, the bright light of our future. Or is it?
Uh-oh. Boy, they look really depressed. Must be because there's even less participants now.
It's so weird how they don't change like the looks of this place. Usually like there's like they change the walls and some of the scenery. And in Danganronpa 2 there were like insane scenery changes. But here the courtroom stays the same.
Don't say they look so depressed. You'll make Monodam sad. As much as I love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth.
Now then,
Let's hurry up and get this started.
extreme!
At last, the class trial will begin. I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content.
The third class trial was about to begin. Angie Onaga, the ultimate artist. She created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try and prevent the killing game. Then Tenko Chabashira, the ultimate Aikido master. She hated men, but I knew that she hated this terrible killing game even more. The two who were killed were both trying to stop the killing. And who was the one that killed them? Was it one person? Two different people? We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. And I will fight for it. I will fight for the truth and lies in this class trial. Yes, I would like to save. Okay, I'm gonna move my. I'm gonna turn my laptop screen like this. I'm gonna put my face right here in the corner. Should probably like. Make it a square here. Perfect. Then the chat box goes to the other side. Yes, that's perfect. Focus time. Skills. Skills. I only have 2 points. I didn't go up any points. How come? Whatever. Class trial time. Class trial. In session.
Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial. During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is, and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone. Now, smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Okay then.
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time. Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you two weirdos.
Who did it? Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be 2 killers.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
Hmm? What do you mean?
The transfer student. Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Did Angie finish the ritual?
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be the culprit? In the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. Yeah, I thought she did, but we don't really know.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our
That's not what I wanted to do.
No!
Wait, oh, it says...
So, ritual
It's been a
did
while.
work?
Who was resurrected, I wonder?
Angie did say she was gonna bring Rantaro back.
Necronomicon. The book Monokuma prepared as a motive. Angie's... Okay. Necronomicon resurrection ritual. Prepare an effigy for the dead soul you wish to contact. Everyone may participate. The size and shape of the effigy is irrelevant. Make it out of whatever materials you wish. If it's not obvious who the effigy is supposed to be, label it with the name of the deceased. After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes.
Yes. Rantaro was resurrected.
No, she
The
wasn't.
culprit is the late Rantaro Amami!
No.
Please, stop it!
The Necronomicon is still here. We have it.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates!
No!
So, ritual did work?
Nope.
That's wrong!
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us, you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution, be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second! I can't let that comment stand! Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
But it's true! I never lie about motives.
Prove it.
Daddy said so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead.
Man,
Whoops.
I can't believe you guys wasted such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
Is all that remains of a once powerful note.
Thank you. Oh, dang it. That's a little...
Right now.
I have to figure this out. Thank you, Angel Gamer Star. For the auto host. Thank you so much.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
You might want to take that back.
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible!
There's no way that could happen, idiots. Monokuma is trying to confuse us. Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Who? Who did it?
Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this. I don't
don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow. I already know what happened.
Okay. Non-stop debate start.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie,
Pretty sure she won't die.
and it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about...
Angie had locked herself in the Ultimate Artist's lab since yesterday. Working on the ritual, she would not unlock the door unless someone from the student council asked her to. The student council members were Gonta, Kibo, Himiko, Tenko, and Tsumugi.
Some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie! Oh yeah! I'm a fucking genius!
I kind of love that. Is Korekio really the culprit? That story fits the facts of the case. You should think about that from the beginning.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie! Oh yeah! I'm a fucking genius!
Ukichi opened it by picking the lock.
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, but anyone could have taken that katana, you see. So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo. I did not care about some katana. Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in.
That's not it.
Whether Kyo had a key or not, Angie still would have let him into her lab. From there, oh, that's her logic.
Damn it!
Angie would have let him into her.
The culprit
her
used a
lab.
katana to kill Angie.
Okay.
And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, suspicious. But anyone could have taken that katana, you see. So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo. I did not care about some katana. Just admit it, you shitting worm. You went to the classroom.
Bam!
That's wrong! No, Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab. Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
Seems likely.
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
Shut up.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
Yes.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
What is that on Angie's paint portrait? What is that supposed to be? Oh, like little angel wings in it. Okay. So, Flint, who do you think the murderer is? I feel like Korekio makes a good Korekio has the opportunity. However, he will be the most obvious. So I don't know.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie.
Yeah, Himiko seems unlikely.
I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
Kokichi could have done it too, but Kokichi seems like a character they would keep till the end.
Yeah, of course.
Or at least like till the last, like the last trial before like the big finisher.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
Yep. The culprit is one of those 3 people.
That seems most likely.
You mean one of
Look at
those
that
2
logic.
people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack!
That doesn't...
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
Yeah.
Whatevs! The culprit should confess already! Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi? Well?
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Yeah, I trust him.
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
I'm
not the culprit.
Not the culprit.
Yay! Mass panic debate start!
We must consider
is a
other
gentleman.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects
Gentlemen,
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
That's the wrong button.
And do you
utterly
have an alibi
impossible.
for last night?
A dead chick
Not
can't
just
be the
anyone
culprit.
talking to her.
Why?
Only
It's not
student
that
council
bad.
members
Being
had
out too late
access.
at night.
Look, I don't know who the
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
but it's definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
There are several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent. Listen carefully, sort the statements in my head, and find the answer.
We must consider other possibilities. Surely there must be suspects
Gentlemen,
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
That's utterly impossible.
For last night?
I
A
know.
dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone talking to
culprit.
No hints, please. I'll figure this stuff out.
Only student council members had access.
Look, I don't know who the
I
culprit
didn't know
is,
robots told such boring lies.
I wanna
but it's
play the
definitely
game.
not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
Please chill, Kibo. Yes, he's a shithead. Just don't let it get to you.
We must consider
is a
other
gentleman.
possibilities.
Whoops.
Surely there must be suspects
Gentlemen,
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
That's utterly impossible.
For last night?
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members.
Bam!
I heard it.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Luigi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. There, open sesame.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie.
He is not a dummy. He knows exactly what he's doing.
The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins.
That's ridiculous.
And it helped. I feel so much better.
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Shut up.
Then let me ask you, culprit, how did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
What different method? Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was. That's it!
I think. Oh man,
The
it's
back
confirmed
door.
now.
That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
The tool that the culprit used to lock the sliding lock from the outside was... Mind Mine. Okay, it turns white into pink, pink into yellow, yellow into white. A katana? It hit him on Akuma.
I see it! The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock because...
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it.
Yeah.
The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Yup.
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigy's hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
Nope.
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
A different purpose? What could that have been? The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the room should be clear. Psyche Taxi start. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da. And you can hear the actual music this time around. Last time it was drowned out by the noise of the car. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? This game is weird. What was done? Whoops. So make the katana. Turn the lock. Still don't get it. Whoops. Who's? Oh, yikes. Also, those billboards. That's the student council. The mist. Spinning. Didn't fall. Does it? I still don't understand.
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Ah.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock.
Very interesting.
And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock,
Hi,
it would
Pastel.
have slid into position.
How you doing?
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other
Okay.
effigies were only hung up, so we'd think it was some kind of ceremony.
You're tired. School's really draining you. Okay, take it easy.
That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Cough it up, Kokichi! Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
I think he was playing. I think he might have been telling the truth.
Okay, I'll start right now.
No, don't.
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
You. I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Oh!
Come, dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
What should we talk about now?
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? I'd never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider! Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down!
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers. What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list?
Could that dog fucking shut up? My window is closed and still it's fucking reaching my ears.
Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
While wearing headphones.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting...
Why did Tenko have to die?
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but... Can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie's?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give 2 shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously! It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
That is not very sensitive, Kaito.
Yeah. Face her death?
But I appreciate it.
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter!
Kaito.
Good one, Kaito. Keep it up.
Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is... Death Curse!
I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Yeah.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too!
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
Nah, okay.
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Tancrotch!
Himiko is really invested this time around. She's never been this emotional. I kind of like it. She's become a more human character. Well, I don't want to say more human. She's probably suffering from something. I don't know, like a depression, something like that. I don't know enough about it to explain it, so I'm not gonna go further into that. But I like this. This is good character development. Quirikyo. Here. Hold on.
That's it!
It was me, Kyo.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
All right.
So those four are the culprits!
Yeah!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the four is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Is Himiko being suspected again? However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use?
The middle room. The middle room is always the best for stuff like this.
Very well. I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
A point of entry from outside? he must be referring to.
There! You're talking about under the floor, right?
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person could move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
You know, still with Kyo being the one who made the circle, it seems the most logical for him to still be the culprit.
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Who was it?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that... function
to get under the floor.
Yeah, but that wasn't the one I should have contradicted.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
It's blinding. We would have seen something.
By crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they see under the floor? Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean
candle? I mean Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second. Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second!
It's true that with little light, you can move around under the floor. Is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our
villain had a light.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
There you go.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
Aww.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch-black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Gonta think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Oh.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that.
Like a certain other case.
That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
How would he know that? Just saying, how would he know that? Danganronpa 2 took place in a very specific location that I'm not gonna. Well, I've already spoiled it before, so why not just say it? That occurred during inside a simulation with Monokuma being a virus, digital. How would this new physical Monokuma know that? Know about that?
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
No.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this, you mustn't speak. The next time you will open your mouth, it'll be Angie speaking through you.
Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside cage, right? Gonta think it impossible to kill her then.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads!
Huh?
Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
Okay.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time, and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Oh my
Then
god.
obviously Himiko is the culprit.
No, that's not the right thing to contradict.
Damn
But there's a.
When Tenko got killed,
It wasn't during the seance.
It could
Could
not
have been done at any other time. She was in
the cage the whole time.
She was dead when
The cage was lifted.
What? And Cage was lifted.
Bam!
That's wrong!
That's the one.
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
what? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
Eh.
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right here! No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
Is it?
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out! Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage! They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kyo!
There has to be a hole in Miju's logic somewhere.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the... and that's none other than Kyo! The blade's all you need.
I mean, I guess it's the marker
If you stick the blade through
stone.
a gap in the cage,
Is
it'd
it-
be
is it
long
at the
enough to
head's
reach
position?
Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
Got it.
I'll cut through your words! Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage. She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone. And the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
I don't know.
No worries, Miu. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Oh, stop it, Dokichi. But I don't know. Why? I guess she just sometimes is struck with incredible ideas for inventions, but at other times she's just not smart.
Yeah, no worries.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
What are you talking about? That's not possible!
We don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that! Screw spirits!
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
Like I said, that's impossible! Spirits can't be culprits!
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done it!
Wait! I know! What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage? If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No. If there was someone else in the cage, we would have noticed.
I agree with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
You do?
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time.
You mean this was suicide?
I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
I believe Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
What did you say?
Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out. She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance. It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
Where would she have kept it?
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
Hey, Angie! When did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity. Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial.
That doesn't sound like Tenko at all.
So she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her.
No. She wanted to stay alive. To spend time with Himiko.
Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
What are you saying? Tenko wasn't like that. She told me.
Keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else.
What if all of that was just a lie?
A lie?
Wait! We should believe Tenko's last words!
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them.
What? It's your fault for believing in a liar? What?
That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Okay. Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe!
Me too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
Back from dead internet. Okay, welcome back.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
Proper reason.
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said.
Okay, everyone. I'll see you guys after the seance.
She said, see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that. If we keep thinking we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Non-stop debate start.
Okay. So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide...
Oh.
It would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle. And then stabbed herself with it!
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
Everyone thinks that Tenko committed suicide, but only because they're latching onto the easiest answer. To get out of this, I need to make them think their suicide theory wouldn't work.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take a...
Okay.
It's down with her. So she hid her true intention.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to
Keep us down with her. So she hid her true intentions. But if Tenko did commit suicide,
it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly
brought the sickle
and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation. Her plan was to keep us down with her. So she hid her true intentions. But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance. She could have secretly brought the sickle
and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, strength.
I'll reveal the truth. Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor because she died instantly.
It's true. I saw it. I mean...
Instantly?
Ooh. It might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly. I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary. Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No! There must have been a way! We're gonna figure it out!
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance?
No, it was pitch black. We couldn't see anything.
If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should have remembered what happened at the seance. There was some kind of, like, crunching noise, like something fell. I need some kind of clue that will help me solve this mystery.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
My voice doesn't
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, And yet it...
Nope.
How utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
Damn it!
I'm more concerned about how dark it got in there. It was totally pitch black.
My job was to relight the candles.
Moving along the
Walls was seriously tough.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance? There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed. How utterly strange. Now that I think about it. While you're out singing the song,
I heard something fall.
There we go.
I agree.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
At last, at long last. Bang!
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. What could have fallen down?
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but...
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
Loud sound. Sounds like something hit the floorboards. Maybe that sound has something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark. Maybe it was the sound of the sickle hitting the floor? Nah. Was that a... yeah. Damn it! Everyone's staring at me! They screwed up. They screwed up. They think I'm a fraud. I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh no! It didn't happen during, but he did fall. Bloody Kokichi. That bloody Kokichi again.
This is it!
The loose floorboard.
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Could the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. It would have had to be a strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be? I speak English.
All right then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
Whoops. I just skipped a line.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Yeah.
Culprit hide under floor. then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and balls are the best of friends?
What would have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose?
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
Contacts. Nah.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But
that statue was still on top of the cage. Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floor.
Why did I do that? Oh no!
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person
tore off the floorboard. Tore off, okay. Nope.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But
that statue was still on top of the cage. Culprit hide under floor.
Then stood up with might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and balls are the best of friends?
What could have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose?
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know at all.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
Damn it! Maybe
so
it's
what
that
made
one.
the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force. Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard. That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over. But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
No.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance.
Okay.
Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
I'm very close to death, yeah. Okay.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
I looked it up just to make sure
But that
we wouldn't have
statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under
a failure
floor,
out of nowhere.
then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was on the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floor.
There it is.
I agree.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
But floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
This wasn't a good one.
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the cross piece?
Tenko's body was at one end of the loose floorboard, and the crosspiece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard. The unsupported part was outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Only one of the crosspieces was cut. The other two were intact. One of them was right under Tenko. The other was in the center, right about where the edge of the cage was. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Think, come on, think! I think I get it. I have no idea. Seesaw. Oh. I have no idea what this is gonna be. I'm about to die. Game over.
Is this...
Retry.
We can't let it end here!
Okay. I have no idea what the second word is going to be. Seesaw effigy? Seesaw effect.
I see now.
Okay. That was kind of stupid.
That's right. The floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
Yeah? A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two crosspieces holding up that board were close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece, the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
So one of the people in the room has killed her.
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Her whole body lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that, unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
There's only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. The top of the cage.
That's it! The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down. The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the statue's...
What?
Once everything was in place,
The game just skipped stuff.
You stepped hard.
It's true that also the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the sickle's hand was thick, which made the statue wobble, but the statue's weight kept it from falling over. Once everything was into place, you stepped hard enough on the seesaw.
Hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage. She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouched position.
The only person who could have done this was Kyo.
But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim.
That's it. In order to actually perform the ritual, the spirit medium should probably has to die. And that's why Kyo was so confused as to why the ritual didn't work.
That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know?
Shut up, Kokiji.
They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box. Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
It's Kyo.
Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
No. You are the other person capable.
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
You were just lucky that she picked it.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? Wait a second, no. Kokichi fell in another room. He prepared all 3 rooms.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room. She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko? I killed Tenko?
Himiko?
What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea, but does that mean Himiko really killed Tenko? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel. Intermission! And with that, I'll have to end the stream. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and see you guys next time, which will be tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. Central European Time. See you guys then. Bye-bye! Sorry, I have to end it right now. But, after that...
Well now.
Thank you guys for watching. After that, on Friday, I'm going to have to give back my laptop to my workplace because I'm going to stop working there so I can do my studies. So I won't be able to stream using 2 PCs for a while, which would have to mean that Danganronpa V3 would end, but I'm not going to do that. On Wednesday, I'm going to have my exam in the morning. And from that moment on, from the moment I get home, I will stream to the end of the day and then finish the game on Thursday. So there are going to be some really large streams coming up this week. So look forward to that. That's going to be fun. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Laters!